Okay, hi. So I'm just going to attempt to teach you how to make lines using the mouse. I just got finished actually making one of these videos, but it did not, apparently the software did not want to cooperate with me, so I'm going to try again. Anyways, basically you gotta start out with your sketch, of course, in Photoshop. I like to have the sketch layer actually lowered to as low opacity as I can with still being able to see it. So what I do is lower it and then I put a white layer, a white background layer behind it, because without the white layer you can't see it at all. Alright, and then you want to make sure that you've got your brush set up. So what you want to do is make sure that you have the brush preset tools here. If you don't have it, you can go to Window and select brush presets, but for some reason mine's not checked, but it's still there. So you can basically go to brush presets here, and what you want to do is select a hard round brush. The size doesn't really matter at this point, but we can go ahead and set it to 3, which is like this 3 is the size that I like to use for my lines, or at least the basic outline. So what you want to do is make sure that Shape Dynamics is selected, and I want to have a minimum diameter of 15%, so that should work, and smoothing should also be set by default. So now you've got that set up, so you should be good to go to start making your lines. Go ahead and select a ink color for the lines. Alright, so then you can get your pen tool here and make sure you make a new layer for the lines, because if you do it on your sketch layer, then you won't be able to color underneath of it, and that's basically the goal here. So you start by making a point, and then make another point, and what you can do is put a point. Once you've got your basic line, you can add points to it, and to make a curve, what you want to do is press and hold the control button on your keyboard and just take the mouse and drag the point. You can make curves with it. You can add pretty much as many points as you want to a line, but you have to be careful it doesn't turn out to be lopsided. Like you see, there's like a lopsided line here, so you can always delete points if they start looking lopsided. Oh goodness. Yeah, sometimes they do that too. So basically what you want to do is just get it working as much as you can so it's like smooth and follows your outline and it's not lopsided. So then I don't want to make like a whole outline of Igglybuff, because I like to leave like little spaces here where the feet are sticking out. So I'll just leave it like that, and then make sure you have the right brush selected. So I have the hard round brush that is 3 pixels. That should be good enough for this. And then get your pen tool selected again and make sure you're on the new layer. And then what you're going to want to do is right click on the panel and then select stroke path. And here you make sure that your tool is the brush, since that's what we've got set up for this. And you can select simulate pressure. That just makes the lines thinner at the end so it's more interesting. It didn't work. It did the same thing. Okay, go to the brush presets. Okay, for some reason Shape Dynamics didn't want to select it. Did that in the last video too. Okay, so anyways, basically what you're looking at here, if you delete the path, is a line that you would have if you didn't set the Shape Dynamics and if you didn't simulate pressure. And it's a pretty smooth, even line, but I like to use the simulate pressure just because it makes the line more interesting, and you can see that it's still a little bit, it's not like perfect, like you can still see a little bumpiness, and the simulate pressure helps hide that. So alright, you can, if you make a mistake, you can always press Control-Alt-Z to undo, and so we're back to where we started here before we stroked it. So let's try again. Alright, then you can delete path to see your results. So it's still a little bit thin at the ends, but it looks pretty good to me this way. You can delete the sketch to see how it actually will look on the white background. If it's too thin for you, you can always select the option to stroke again, and that will make it thicker. So there, that's pretty nice and thick, so that should be good. I'm not going to go ahead and go through the whole tutorial because that will just take too long, but I did go ahead and I made the outline already. Sorry it's so bad, I did it really fast. So basically you've got that now, and in order to color, basically you can use the magic wand tool to select in your lines. Oh, what did I do? I didn't select the right layer. Okay, make sure you got the right layer selected, first of all. Then you can select inside the lines, and if you didn't connect your lines all the way, this isn't going to work because it's just going to select the whole screen. So you want to make sure that your lines are connected all the way. So like here I didn't connect the line all the way here, so you can see where I made like a little small edit. I added another line here just to make sure it was connected. You can make it look better, but I didn't put that much effort into it. You can always add strokes or add paths and stroke them as many times as you want. So basically now I'm going to select inside of it to add the base color, and I already added it here, but I'll demonstrate. What you want to do when adding the base color is just you want to expand the selection, because otherwise it's not going to fill it in. There's like going to be a white or gray space in between the selection and the actual line, so just to make sure that it covers it completely, you can modify the selection and make it larger. Basically 1 pixel should be good, and you can also go ahead and deselect your sketch at this point. And then this is how it will look. Let me just get the color. Alright, so now you're ready to use your paint bucket tool and then just color it in like that. And so that looks pretty good. So then basically I colored in everything. Alright, I'm not going to go through and finish this, but I'll go over how to shade briefly. So to shade, what you can do is either take your brush tool. Gosh, I cannot remember what these tools are called. Okay, you can get your brush tool. I'm gonna copy this color. Okay. And what you can do is basically make a new layer. You want to make a new layer so it doesn't, so if you mess up, you don't have to erase the bottom layer. You can color it in like that. It looks pretty decent, but it's still it looks kind of messy. You can use the blur tool to try to fix it up, but it looks pretty messy. So that's one way of shading. And if you're coloring outside of the lines, you can just select the outline here and then go back to the layer where you're shading on and then press delete. That will delete outside of the lines. That actually doesn't look too bad. The first time I did it, it looked horrible. But yeah, so then you've got that. Or you can also